Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Enlightenment Podcast, where we discuss ideas that transform your life and make your life a lot better. Today I'm here joined with James, and we're talking about Sadhguru, how to transition out of this life consciously without waiting for old age to happen or an accident to happen. In yoga, this is called as Mahasamadhi. Maha means great, and Samadhi means being equanimous or a deep state of meditative absorption. So, just to define this very quickly and instantly, this is a process where you go into a very deep state of meditation and you can consciously exit out of this structure consciously, like leaving the door. You see the door behind me, I can just get up and leave without waiting for the landlord to come and drag me out or waiting for the house to collapse. No, I just decide to leave. That's exactly how Mahasamadhi works. This is you have to be very experienced in meditation to do this. It takes a great deal of mastery, and not everybody can do this. There have been many examples in India, however, of yogis attaining this feat, and also some Buddhist masters. I remember particularly reading a book. This Buddhist monk was doing walking meditation in a jungle forest monastery with his monks. And he said, monks, by the time that I reach that side of the walking meditation path, I will shed this, I will leave. And the monks were looking at him, and he walked, and as he walked, he finished the walking meditation path, his body just collapsed. And he was gone, no more. There's also one more thing I'll share here is that there's a famous video on YouTube of a Buddhist monk doing this on camera. And I watched this for the first time many months ago, or years ago actually now. And you could see it happen. If you're sensitive, he kind of lays down, he's doing something, and then he's gone. And now it's just a cold body laying there. This is a phenomenal subject, phenomenal topic. This was James's idea to bring this up and to talk about this. I think we're going to explore very deep mystical things in this video. So without further ado, welcome James to the show. James, how are you doing, my friend?
Well, it's good to see you again, Shiva. Did you notice anything on your end of the video? Because on my end, I saw the screen kind of go boom, boom, like a couple times, and then kind of heard your voice go out, glitch a little bit. Did you see anything on your end, or?
Yeah, it sometimes there is glitches. I see it on my broadcasting service. Sometimes the screen goes black. That's me changing the scenes. But otherwise, maybe we're really raising the energy and it's messing with the computer. That's also a possibility.
All right, I guess we'll continue for now then. And if you see anything on my end, let me know, and I'll let you know as well. That
Absolutely.
was a good introduction to this very, very deep topic that we're about to deep dive into, like Ralph Smart would say. It just did it again. Did you just see that?
No, I think it was good on my
Okay,
end.
maybe it's just on my phone then. Is everything good on this end? Because I just saw the screen kind of go whoop like that.
No, it looks good. Sometimes you may lag a little bit, but you're clear and visible. At least now you are.
Okay. So I don't understand what Mahasamadhi is. That second video that you were just talking about, where the possibly Southeast Asian Buddhist monk, the video that's on YouTube, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And then like his arm when he when he's done, his arm kind of goes like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I saw that one too. That's and from your interpretation, do you think that that is a real video?
I mean, my mind can be playing tricks on me, but from the intuitive senses that I felt and feel, I saw this man just left. So I think it's a genuine video. I would put my reputation behind
You
it.
think it's
Yes.
so you think it's genuine? Okay, that's what I was trying to get at. Is it? Do you think it's genuine? I should have used that word. It looked genuine to me, and you're saying it's genuine to you, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So, and then basically the people sitting around there just basically picked him up and took him somewhere, right?
Yes, it appears that way, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure we saw the same video because we didn't really talk about this beforehand.
Yes,
But I think we're envisioning the same video.
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if I can't wrap my head around, I see, because I can't wrap my head around how somebody could just turn it off like that. And I've heard you talk about how Sadhguru Shri, what's his name?
Sri
Sadhguru what?
Brahma. Brahma.
Yeah, Shri Brahma did this, right?
Yes, correct.
And you're saying that Sadhguru is a Shakwashara or something like that, right?
Chakreshwara, yeah. Mastery over the 7 chakras.
Shakwashara, yeah. I don't know quite how to say that, but so, I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't people who have this ultimate control to just be like, boom, see ya, and they don't have to like wait to get old, and because it's a very large subject that I actually watch a lot of other YouTubers who, are suffering in this realm that we're in. It's a hard place to be. I mean, there's a lot of people and they're all competing for that piece of the pie and basically looking for a way out. And a lot of people don't have this level of knowledge that it seems maybe Sadhguru and these other Buddhist people and possibly you have, because I don't have this. Other people that I have, high level people, I'll put it. Matter of fact, the modern day wizard has talked about, he used to be he studied to be a Zen monk, so he did Zazen, and but he hasn't talked about this. Like, he's talked about basically using a certain substance. There's a certain substance that they use for making beer that basically people are using that these days to basically shut the lights off. So, why I wanted to bring this subject up, one of the reasons of the many, is so that way maybe you could clear this up for me. I don't know if you're going to be able to, but I just don't quite understand what it is.
When I first heard about this concept, it was too far away from my reality to even understand or to grasp. And then when Sadhguru started mentioning this idea, Mahasamadhi, I became very interested and I wanted to explore and expand what this means, how this works. So I tried looking at so many videos by Sadhguru. Unfortunately, there weren't any. There was hardly one or two where Sadhguru talks about how to do this. In Sadhguru's words, I'll explain this. He says that enough energy has to be built up in the body so that you then can decide when to go. Okay, that's fine and good. But now, thankfully, after having gone through many years of this on the spiritual game, I've gotten to understand experientially how this could be like, or how this is like. In fact, I'm glad we're bringing this topic up today because this happened to me just recently, a few days ago, or maybe a week or two ago. What had happened was, it was no particular day, nothing really special happened. But as the day progressed and it was getting nighttime and it was time to go to sleep, so I turned the lights off and I laid down in my bed and I started meditating. And for whatever reason, my meditation became so intense, so focused, so centered on myself I became. And then the connection to my body became so minimal, so thin, or my body became very thin. That's how I felt. I became very like air. My body became like air. And I could see this would be so easy to step out of. At least, like, I potentially know in the future I can step out of this. And at that moment, as I started becoming so thin within myself and the energy, my cosmic nature started growing, I realized that I have metal on my body. I'm wearing a ring here, I'm wearing an anklet, I'm wearing earrings, I'm wearing another pendant here. And that's the only reason why I didn't get lost. Maybe I would have gotten lost. So that's also a danger. This is the benefit of wearing metal. If you wear metal on your body, somehow intuitively, subconsciously, you will know that you are safe to meditate with very deep intensity. Because if you don't have metal in your body and you meditate with deep intensity, you could get lost. Get lost, meaning you could step outside of this physical framework and you won't know where you are, how you are, what's going on. You could lay, totally gone for days, weeks, months, sometimes even years. People have done that. Well, that takes extreme mastery. Probably that's not going to happen to you. But this happened to Sadhguru. He sat down, he closed his eyes, he felt like it was a few minutes, but 4 hours had passed. On another occasion, something similar, 8 hours had passed. And then on another occasion, he sat down in his farm, he closed his eyes, he felt like it was 20 minutes or something. He woke up and it was 13 days. He said that they had to pour boiling water over his legs to get his legs to be unstuck. They were so stiff. So I saw, as I was kind of leaving this physical framework, I realized, oh, this is very advantageous that I have this. And if I, for some reason, did want to go, I mean, I don't. It'll probably take maybe years, decades, or close to a century for me to decide, okay, it's time to leave. That's not necessary right now. I'm a young man, but there's no point. I'm living my life and I'm enjoying my life. But in the future, if it's time to go, definitely, this will be off, all the metal will be off, and then poof, I'll just fly out of this. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any further questions, please let me know. Let's expand on this topic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good start, but I mean, when you say you were laying down and meditating, was this like, were you trying to go to sleep or were you trying to meditate?
I was trying to go to sleep. I don't really do meditation that much anymore. Meditation usually happens to me.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah.
So, yeah, I don't meditate either. Like I don't once you get to a certain point, I I'm always in a meditative state, basically. Meaning that I'm always conscious, ultra conscious of everything around me. So when you say you're laying down to meditate, you're really laying down to go to sleep.
Correct, yes.
This is another thing that Sadhguru cleared up with me is because I used to be an insomniac at one point in my life. And I had a laptop and I would be up on the laptop like I'm a big like wanting to know a lot of stuff, knowledge. So I'm just constantly filling my head with knowledge, but it was kind of making me an insomniac. So after I did inner engineering, I mean, it's easy to go to sleep. I don't know if you had the same thing.
I never experienced insomnia. I'm fairly comfortable falling asleep. I don't have issues sleeping, me personally.
But before and after inner engineering, was there any difference for you?
After I started practicing Shambhavi Mahamudra, I noticed that I would wake up so much earlier than natural, than normal. Sometimes I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. My body would be ready to go. I was very used to sleeping a very long time and I wanted to go back to sleep, but I didn't really know what to do. So I experienced many situations like that. I slept a lot less.
Yeah. And that's because, well, that's for another topic on that, on the whole energy thing. Basically, a lot of people are expending a lot of energy on fear, and I can't quite put the word to it, but yeah, there's kind of like a before and after doing inner engineering of energy. Basically, people are wasting a lot of energy, but I won't get too far down that path. Let's stay on Mahasamadhi because there's a lot I have to get through in this video. So sleep is different than meditation. So you say you're laying down to meditate, but you're really laying down to sleep. And so when we fall asleep, it is a death in a way, right? It's your body is still breathing, but yet you're in a different situation and your body's resting, and it's kind of like a cell phone charging in a way. Your body's charging back up from the day. I don't quite understand. So back to the video, the Southeast Asian monk who he basically laid down, and all the monks were around him, and this is what the plan was. He was going to leave his body. So basically, yeah, he laid down on his back, and within a couple minutes, like I said, his hands were on his body like this, but then one of them fell down, and that's how you could tell the muscle was no longer, the spirit. I won't say spirit. The soul had actually left, because basically what I've learned is you have three things. You have the body, the soul, and the spirit. And from what I've learned, the soul is actually has to do with the pulmonary, the breath. And this is coming from ancient Greek language. And then the spirit is basically your particular, like, it's what makes Shiva Shambho Shiva Shambho. What makes me James. So our spirit is our individualized being. So what I'm trying to figure out is basically this body can't stay going without breathing. So I feel as though breathing is the main thing keeping people alive. And the body does that on its own while you're asleep. So maybe expand on the breathing part, because this is the part I don't quite understand.
So, as it relates to this concept of Mahasamadhi, I don't really see breathing going much into this. As far as I understand, there's no breathing techniques involved, maybe at least not consciously. So, it's not through breathing that you get this done, although potentially maybe someone with very intense breathing, you can access this state or higher energy. But that's exactly what this is higher energy. So, you need a lot of energy inside of the body for you to access, let's say, get to the exit sign or get to the exit point. It's like a jar or a bottle of water having a pipe funnel to the base. When water gets pushed into the water, the water rises until it gets so much water that it blows open the top. This is kind of like how this is. So you need massive amounts of energy in the body for you to finally and totally remove this spirit or soul. I'm not sure the correct terminology here. That's how you step away from this. So I don't see breath playing much of a role in this, at least consciously.
But you do see what I'm saying, where so this Asian monk that we're talking about consciously did this, and then obviously he had to have stopped breathing at a certain point.
Yes.
Okay. Most people can't shut their breath off like that. They would have to basically, most human beings walking the face of this earth cannot just consciously do this, and you're not like consciously like laying down saying I'm going to stop breathing. You're talking about having massive amounts of energy, and then somehow by not wearing metal stop breathing. um huh yeah, it's hard for me to wrap my head around this, because like I was going to say is most people when they want to leave here, they're using a external substance, and what they will do is they'll put it over their head and then they'll breathe that, and that will make them basically stop breathing. It'll shut something off in their body. It'll shut their lungs off, or their, I don't know what it shuts off, but it makes them stop breathing. So a lot of people will do that, elderly people. Even I saw a video in Australia, people are doing this, because they're elderly and it's just like, I'm done. You know what I mean? At a certain point, when you wake up and do the same thing every day, day in, day out for 20 years, it's like, I'm pretty much done. So they're opting to do that rather than take the hospital route. So, and a lot of people don't want to do the hospital route. So like I said, they're using this external substance, which I don't know if I can name in this video, but like I said, they use it. The way that they get around it is it's something that they use in the beer industry, like microbrewery type stuff. So you're able to get your hands on this stuff. And then they basically just put it over their head, breathe it for like a minute or something like that, and then their body stops breathing. So what I'm trying to figure out, and this is basically the most humanitarian way to do this, rather than taking a tool and doing that, or other ways of using a rope and stuff like that, or jumping, or
Yes,
what I'm
yes,
saying, like
yes.
there's a lot of other ways that are just not, what I'm saying. And the only reason I bring this up is because I used to have these thoughts earlier in my life, and uh, I have dealt with these issues for quite some time. Although after doing inner engineering, I don't have those thoughts at all. So anyway, I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah, so to come back to what you said, if you're out there listening, don't do this. Don't use any tools to do anything with yourself. Mm, just have a happy life and live a very long time. That's what we're both advocating here. And using an external tool is not Mahasamadhi. That's something else. We don't talk about that here on YouTube. It's the wrong thing to do. That's not what this is. The best example that I just thought about is this. It's like a stunt driver driving a car, and his foot is on the gas. The gas is the breath. It's running, the car's running. But then he opens the door and he decides to roll out of the car. Well, the car will still run for some time, but the foot is no longer on the gas. It will inevitably stop after a few moments or a few seconds, however long it takes. That's exactly how this process is. You're not really manipulating much here. You're just stepping out of this. Whatever life energy that's holding this together, it is out. When it's out, not only the respiratory system doesn't go anymore, but everything. So the lungs don't work and whatever bodily functions. So it all slowly starts to stop. But that's it. You, as far as you're concerned, you no longer have anything to do with this physical system.
So it's not consciously laying down and saying to yourself, I'm gonna stop breathing. What are you saying to yourself?
You're not saying anything, actually. It is like maybe you've heard this concept before, astral traveling. This is the
Yes.
idea that some part of you, the astral body, you can kind of travel around a little bit and then come back. Well, it's essentially that, except not only are you taking your astral body with you, you're taking everything that belongs inside of this that you can take. As soon as this is out, it's over. There's no thought thinking of stopping breathing or breathing. It's none of that. You're just stepping out of this.
But okay, I'm still stuck on the, you lay down to go to sleep. 8 hours later, you wake up, you're breathing, and obviously you're breathing the whole time. Astral Travel, I'm not really too familiar with, although I do listen to a lot of people talk about it. So I'm here in Florida. I want to Astro Travel to either Toronto or to Italy and, do some traveling without taking an airplane. Is that what we're talking about here?
No, you only your astral body goes somewhere, your physical body remains. So you can,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
So my imagination can run wild. It's kind of like Google Maps or Google Earth. You're like, you can go anywhere you want and look at stuff. Is that what you're basically talking about?
Yeah, kind of in a way, yeah.
So people are talking about doing this stuff, but they're not, they're coming back. They're still there. So how is it that they do that? And then there's just one more step to completion.
It's astral travel is a little bit maybe like lucid dreaming. It's maybe has more experience in that. So it's cool if you can do it. It's wonderful. I'm sure that some spy agencies also investigated this. There's some research on that. But it's not. You haven't evolved much, so it takes real evolution to step out of it fully, to take everything inside, everything that's yours, so to speak, and leave.
So I just want to say I have done that before. I have lucid dreamed before. Like I was reading something that I really wasn't interested in. Like I was trying to read some like truck driver stuff to maybe get back into truck driving, and then I noticed that my mind would just I would be lucid dreaming, just like thinking of some other stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there trying to read and comprehend something that I don't really care about. I'm just basically doing it to try and make money or better my life or whatever. And then my mind is not, it's not right there. It's somewhere else, or it's thinking about something from the past, or just, you know what I'm saying? So is
Mm.
that's lucid dreaming. So it's basically you're dreaming while you're awake rather than while you're asleep.
Mm.
And this astro traveling thing is basically like people laying down and their mind is not with them. It's in another realm, basically. I had a really weird dream the other day. I don't know if I want to get into it, but yeah, I've had some weird things happen recently. And anyway, I just wanted to say this one thing happened to me one time. It was very, very, very strange. This is one of the strangest things that's ever happened to me. Um, this was a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago. I went to a friend's house that I knew through another friend. And I used to deal in like street life type stuff, dealing and doing stuff like that back in the day. So I went over there, and I can't remember. Maybe we were smoking some herbs or something like that, possibly. I was sitting on the edge of his bed, and he was at the desk, which he was like arm's length away from me. And the next thing I know, I'm like sitting up from his bed. So I was like laying down on his bed and then I just sat up and that's all I remember. I don't remember falling back. And I don't know if I was drugged. I don't know if he slipped me something. I don't know. And then he didn't say anything and I didn't say anything. So weird stuff like that has happened to me. Has anything kind of crazy like that happened to you where you really can't explain, but you remember it, but you can't explain it?
Well, I regret to admit this, but in my earlier years, I was participating in fancy stuff that you can eat and makes you have experiences. So during those experiences, I had very wild visions and experiences, and also kind of time lapsing and very wild stuff. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't do it again. But more tangible, I had many powerful experiences of meditation. That's something that I'm proud of, and more tangible, you could say. But to answer your question, I don't think I've ever experienced what you just described. I don't think I've experienced that. No.
But when you say meditation, are you talking about like laying down to go to sleep? Because that's what you said earlier when you said
So
meditate. Like
yeah.
you're saying you don't really just sit like I was gonna explain, like my friend the modern day wizard. I was gonna explain to you, he was training to be like a Buddhist monk type thing in New Mexico. And it really hurt him physically to sit in that position for that amount of time. Like it messed his legs up and stuff because they would just sit all day long. And he did Zazen, which I'm not quite sure what Za is. I know a little bit what Zen is. And so when you're talking, like when people say the word meditate, they picture somebody with their eyes closed and doing any number of, focusing on your breath or saying mantras in your mind, or I don't know. People have all these different notions of when somebody uses the word meditate. But you just brought it back to, you don't do those types of meditation. Your meditation is laying down, shutting the lights off, closing your eyelids, and basically falling asleep. And you're saying that basically one of these days you're possibly going to get to the point where you're not going to wake back up.
Well, it'll be my conscious decision if I decide to do that or not. And I should have been more specific. I need to clarify this because the word meditation in English, you could say many things. So, uh, I was aware of my body. I was aware of the inside, what's happening inside. And so I lay down and I'm closing my eyes and I'm just aware what's happening inside of me. And as I was aware, many energetic experiences started happening to me. So I said to meditate just so that everybody can understand what, very broadly, what that means. But in essence, that's what happened. I was aware of my internal reality and some things started happening without me consciously doing them.
So yeah, like sometimes when I lay down to go to sleep, like I'm just so exhausted. Like these days, I'm going to sleep like 1 p.m. I'm exhausted. I'm on my phone till I can't, till my eyes just, I can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? And I'll just shut my phone off, put it right there. I'm done. I'm tired. And then I go to sleep. So the difference is you consciously lay down, you consciously are paying attention, other than like just like dead tired. Not dead tired, but tired.
Yes, correct. I'm paying attention. And, at an early age, I realized that it's good to sit and meditate and actually make time to close your eyes and be really focused inside. But after a while, you start to understand that that has to be your entire life. You can't be unaware to the rest of the day and then for 1 hour a day you sit and you become aware. No. You have to be aware of the whole day. You have to be aware of what's happening inside. That's how you meditate 12 hours a day.
Yeah, and that's one thing I notice. And that's why like I feel like I don't fit into this world, because like even when I'm out and about, like going to the grocery store, like I was just at the grocery store, maybe I'm the only one that's aware of my surroundings there. I feel like people are just so unaware and they're just so robotic with it. And I'm not going to talk down about these people, but I feel like when they get caught up in this whole survival thing, you know, when you get set on this track from get go, and your parents bring you into this, and then you go through the hospital system, then you go through the educational system, and then you get into the workforce, and it's just like people never really have time to become conscious because they're so busy trying to keep up with the Joneses or fit in or, you know, make money. I feel like most people are spending most of their life working, and so when they're at the grocery store, they just boom, I'm grabbing this, I'm grabbing that, I'm going fast, you know. And I find the situation that I'm in not fitting in is like I don't like to be pushed. I like to take my time. I like to take it all in. And I feel like that's why I don't fit into this world because I am in a constant state of, if you want to call it meditation, I would just call it consciousness or just absolutely like. And this is another thing, or I was just gonna say like living 100%. I wanted to. Here's another video that we're gonna have to do is being a full-fledged human being is what Sadhguru says he is, and I feel like there's a reason that we're not full-fledged human beings, and we could get into that maybe on another date. We've already got like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday set up. So, I mean, I'm just going to keep memorializing these in the videos and putting it out there. Uh, Being a full fledged human being, why are we not one from the get go? So, I have a lot to say about that. But basically, Shiva, my issue that I'm running into is I don't fit into this world. And I'm in a constant state of meditation. In a constant state of consciousness because I realize that every moment is a celebration of life. Like, I mean, if I'm to buy this Rudraksha Mala that you have around your neck, you say it's for like special occasions. For me, every moment is a special occasion. So I would have to wear it all the time, you know, and just take it off in the shower or not wear it while I'm sleeping. That's the level I'm at. Shiva, can you say anything to this?
Yeah, you can wear it as long as you don't wear it in the shower. That'll lessen the lifespan of this, and you don't sleep with it. You can wear it from the time that you wake up to the time that you go to sleep. There's no real issue. But if you can do that, you'll receive massive benefits. And I am starting to wear this longer and longer. To kind of come back to the point you just made before this, I have a subscriber, another YouTube subscriber that watches me. His name is Dangly Lingam. That's a very funny name. And he lives in Canada, just somewhere a little bit farther away from me. And one day he was reacting to a video that I sent him. And this lady was talking. She was talking about me, ironically enough. Her name was Pippa. And she's explaining some things that she values in my YouTube videos. And there's someone doing something in the background. Some man is working with a machine. And it irritated this man. He said, What is that in the background? I didn't even notice that. I wasn't even aware of that. But then he said, no, I live in the rural part of Canada. I don't hear noises like that at all. So he must have extreme quiet. And I understood his vibe at that moment. Oh, and now I understand because that's how he is. And he's lived in this area, rural, no buzzing, no cars, no constant electricity. So to add to your point, yes, the planet that we live in, most of the cities are not designed for conscious people by conscious people. It's just kind of a little bit of survival and reproduction and compulsion. So it's okay, and you don't fit in. Hey, I don't blame you. I don't fit in. I have to open up my window and I hear the cars. Where are they all going in the middle of the night? I have no idea. So better you go into the sticks, into the woods, live somewhere in the forest in nature, or you build something for yourself, or I don't know, you learn to totally go beyond all of these things. So, yeah.
I mean, the only issue with going and living in the sticks is you're going to have the same issue out there with bugs and animals and stuff. There's really nowhere you can go on this planet where you're going to be left alone. Now, if I had the funds, that's where I would be. That way I wouldn't have to be around all this madness. But I see what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, I feel like every moment is a celebration of life. And I feel like some people are just like, oh, we're going to a celebration now, you know, like 7 p.m. We're going here to celebrate. And it's just like, why isn't everybody constantly realizing that what's going on right now, could end at any moment in time? And that's what I'm getting at, is I don't think they realize how easily this could not happen. How easily just your life can just be over very quickly in any number of ways. And so what I'm getting at is people aren't actually living to their fullest capabilities. They're not full-fledged human beings. And I'm at least trying to be, and I'm out of place. And so that's why I'm asking you about these questions. And so, like, I was brought this up to you before the video. I used to spend quite a bit of time in cemeteries because there was a large cemetery where I grew up. I mean, really, really large. And so we would go there, do a lot of stuff, ride bikes. I actually learned how to drive when I was learning how to drive, just drive around there. And I actually ran into a tree, like it was an accident happened there. But yeah, I would go up there, smoke, hang out with. So, Shiva spent time doing these types of things. The Adi Yogi or whatever, I guess, spent time around the cremation grounds. But I don't know. I just thought that was kind of strange. And then I did want to bring one other thing up about UG Krishnamurti talking about basically Mahasamadhi being not legitimate. He basically says all meditation and all Mahasamadhi is not legitimate. It is basically, you're basically choosing to leave. You're doing the S word. And he's saying that if anybody actually really did real meditation, they would end up in the loony bin singing Looney Tunes and merry melodies, and that they would go crazy. And so that's why I kind of kept asking you about this whole meditation thing. And so I feel like basically there's a lack of communication on certain words that we're using in this, not just you and I, but in general, the general public is lacking in the communication field. But this is a large topic, so I'm not quite sure we're going to get there on this video, but maybe sometime.
I want to ask you briefly. You mentioned that it's not legitimate. This guy said it's not legitimate. What did he mean by that? What do you think he? What do you think he really said?
I think that he's calling all gurus fake. He's calling Jay Krishna. He called out all of them because UG Krishnamurti was born into the Theosophical Society. His parents or grandparents were like the founders of the Theosophical Society, which is where Jay Krishnamurti is from. And he basically grew around all these people, saints, sages, masterminds, murderers, criminals, rapists, all these people. He grew up in that, so he saw behind the scenes. And I know a little bit about seeing behind the scenes because I've seen behind the curtain, per se. The Wizard of Oz, basically. We're living in the Wizard of Oz, basically. So there is somebody behind the curtain, and most people don't. They're afraid to pull the curtain back and see that we are more powerful than they are. And so basically, UG Krishnamurti is the guru you end up with after you go through all the other gurus. So that's what I'm saying, is he's saying that basically these are people who either lost their minds and went crazy and jumped into a river, or they took their own lives. So this whole Maha Samadhi business, like, yes, we saw the video. It looked very real. Sadhguru's talking about it. That's the other thing, is we're going to get to his wife eventually. I don't want to even bring that up in this video, but we'll get to it eventually. So what I'm saying, and this is the most powerful part of this video, is if you can't totally wrap your head around a certain subject, like there's certain things you can wrap your head around. You know what I mean? Like certain subjects, you could be like, yeah, I totally understand that, right? Most people don't understand how a cell phone works, right? You have this rectangular thing, and it's supposed to be a wireless signal to this tower over here, and you're talking to another person holding another rectangular thing in their hand, right? Look at what we're doing right now. We're speaking on these rectangular devices, and I can't explain how this is happening. I don't know if you can, but there's a lot of topics out here that I feel like we can't totally understand.
Yes, not easy to understand this, very difficult to understand this. Sadhguru said that you won't need people to carry him or his body to wherever he's going to be buried. He'll carry himself there, meaning he'll do things and he'll go to a place and say, okay, it's time to go, and he'll go. And yeah, coming back to your point of meditation leading you to the loony bin, yes, absolutely. Not only that, it can lead to much worse things. It can lead to you leaving the planet in a non-favorable way. So meditation is a fantastic tool, but if you used inappropriately, it can really distort your mind. And I've seen that happen. And Sam Harris also talks about this, that some people that do Vipassana meditation and really connect to the source of who they are, they tend to commit to the S word, as we said, or decide to go on their own will using tools, which is not smart. So that's the dangerous side of meditation. And yeah, I guess to summarize this, it's not something that you can really understand. Lots of these concepts you can't really understand with your mind. You have to build enough energy, the foundation within yourself, and you have to experience. So that's what I hope for you, James. I hope for everybody here to experience these things. And who knows, maybe one day you will leave through Mahasamadhi. And one more point. That yes, it's a fair analysis that maybe this is maybe some people are kind of being disingenuous with this, or this is attainment is a very high attainment. That's my point. It's this Mahasamadhi is the highest attainment in the spiritual path. So whatever you've gained, whatever psychic powers you have, it's paling in comparison to this. This is the ultimate peak. This is how to complete the entire game, how to beat the game is to do this. So it would only go to show that it would take real intense focus on this to begin to understand this, as I did recently, and also to experience this. It requires lots and lots of work. So I don't believe this is fakery. I don't believe this is kind of this is a charlatan's work. I do believe this is authentic and genuine. The Buddha talked about it. Sadhguru talks about it. Various sages and saints have talked about it, and I'm yet to experience it, and I will. And just like Sadhguru, I will walk to my own grave. No one has to carry me there.
I think that maybe it's only a handful of people walking the planet will ever reach this high level. And if it is real, and I actually do think it is real, possibly, I'm kind of on the fence because I hold UG Krishnamurti in such a high regard because, like I said, he saw behind the curtains. He grew up in this. So he saw what was going on, while the cameras weren't rolling. But if it is real, I feel like there's only a handful of people who will reach the highest level of being able to press the button on their own character and go to wherever they're going.
That's correct. I agree with you on that. And with that being said, I think this is the end of our show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, James, for co-hosting this. And in the future, you'll have your own channel. I can shout your channel out. You'll get lots of subscribers. And stay tuned until tomorrow. We talk about Sadhguru's wife. Very interesting and exciting topic. And further ideas that we have planned. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.